Yes, my people, how are we doing? Got a special one today, a bit of a different sort of scenery here and that. We're going to be doing a fan calling show. Yes, things aren't going well at Crystal Palace, and it's time to talk about it. Time to let you Palace fans have your say. And especially, he's got a lot to say as well. I've been saying too much a lot weekly and that recently, you know what I mean? And, I get bored hearing myself say the same thing week in, week out, So I'm gonna ask you a few questions and that what you make of this current situation. How this is going to work, my people, if you look in the live chat and in the description, there's a link, press the link, and you'll be backstage, and I'll just add you in, and you'll get maybe about 10, 12 minutes just to have your say. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this season, the horrible run, any improvements, any, transfers you make in the summer. It's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, and we're going to let you lot have your say. But Dad, have a bit of a talk before we get the people on. I mean, what's gone wrong? What's gone wrong with Palace this
the
season?
most question is what is the problem at Crystal Palace? Should Vieira be going? Is it a lack of intensity? Is it poor tactics? Is it because we haven't got a centre forward? Is it because we don't have an atmosphere at the ground? There's just so much, are we strapped for cash, and that's why we couldn't buy the players? Either building the stand that we're going to build, causing us a problem in the transfer market. There's loads of things at the moment. Things have just combined and into a perfect storm at the moment. So I put a long thing on Facebook last week, and so people sort of responding. Some Palace fans are saying don't panic. Some are saying we're in a relegation battle, like I have said.
Same here.
Look, we're in a relegation battle. There's no way. We're very similar. If you go and look at Brentford, when Bournemouth got relegated, look at the season that they went down, and we're very much mimicking what they did at the beginning of the season. They were like, at one point during the season, they were 8th from the top, and they looked like they were going well. And this was the COVID season as well. And they just fell off a cliff. I think they went 2 wins in the last second half of the season. They had about 2 wins.
2 wins only.
And, the worrying thing is that if Vieira had started the season and after 14 games, he'd only won 1 game. Well, actually, he wouldn't have even made it to 14 games at the start of the season. So the problem that we've got is that we can't say, if we sack Vieira, you then got who you're going to bring in. And it's a bit late in the day now to sort of change managers, to be honest with you. Be interesting to see what the players think about Vieira, because you're thinking, because I watched them even at Villa, and there just isn't that spark on the pitch, We're not creating chances. Another game where we didn't have a single shot on target. I mean, people take the VAR goal, but that obviously doesn't count because it was offside. We didn't. Second half, we had 1 shot from Wilf that went wide. That's all we did.
We played worse in the second half than we did in the first half, in my opinion.
The second half, Decora got sent off. I mean, he gets booked for a challenge, and then within 5 minutes, he does another same challenge. And I mean, it's just a bit stupid.
We got someone that's actually about to join. I'm going to add Haza in right now. Haza, are you there at all?
I'm there. I'm here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Just want to get your thoughts on us this season. I mean, should Vieira stay? Should he go? And what's really gone wrong with us overall? What are your thoughts on it?
To be honest, this season I think we've been different than we were last season. I think last season, it was Vieira's first season. I think we was all saying what a great job I think Vieira's done, but now we're like, I think we need Vieira to go. This season I think has been poor.
Yeah, not good enough, honestly.
Especially this year so far. I mean, haven't won a single game. Our football's been quite poor.
Yeah.
And it's just our football's shocking at the moment.
Do you think if we'd had Conor Gallagher playing this season, things would have been different? Do you think?
Yeah.
Possibly, because thing is with Palace, we like to rely on one player. Like it's always relying on Wilfred Zaha a lot, and I think Gallagher did make a big difference last season, but now I'm not sure whether it would make a difference or not.
Yeah,
because I thought that the season, the team we've got this season isn't much different from the one we had last season, apart from Conor Gallagher,
maybe Chiari as well. Players that we've got Benteke, don't forget as well, especially.
So I mean, I know we didn't. Benteke has his faults, all the rest of it. To be honest with you, I'll bite your hand off having back in the team now as well. With what we currently got.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's something that everybody's noticed. That how different, how poor the team is. But I think that the team that we've got, whilst we've not strengthened it, is more than capable of doing better than it currently is.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
We're more than capable of staying in the Premiership.
Yeah.
But at the moment, for me, the players lack a little bit of motivation. They're not sharp on the pitch. And one thing that we noticed, Tristan and I, at the Villa game, we were standing right in front of the practice.
Yeah.
And the Palace players were doing their practice shots.
The shooting and finishing.
And it was dreadful. I mean, it was really poor. And it was like they were just going through the motions,
Haza, I just want to ask, were you at Villa at all on Saturday? Just thought I'd ask.
No, I wasn't. I haven't actually been for a while. Last time I went was Last time I went was last season. So. Oh,
last season for the 1-1 draw. Yeah, I was there as well. Yeah, it was a really poor performance, mate. Honestly, I mean, we had no shots on goal. The only thing that was good was the offside goal, and obviously when that got disallowed, things just didn't really click. We came out second half and were just shocking. And
the thing,
there was no spark.
And the thing for me was
the problem for us.
Aston Villa were rubbish.
Exactly.
I mean, they were rubbish. Same with Liverpool.
I was watching the game on Saturday. I just couldn't wait for it to end, to be honest. It was so boring.
No, it was.
No teams were doing anything. I mean, I think we had chances. Well, we didn't, but the game was rubbish, and we went down to 10 men as well, and that made us even worse, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the only good thing, as I'm saying, is that defensively we're not doing too bad. It's not like we're conceding, apart from the Tottenham game.
Yeah.
We're not conceding hatful of goals and all the rest of it. So defensively we're not bad. And the goal that Villa scored was like where Anderson had to go get to the ball. I think our two centre halves are really keeping us in games at the moment, to be honest with you. And when Wilf played against Villa, he was the only one that sort of had a bit of class. You could see that, he at least he had something. He's playing that position as a centre forward. But even when Decor got sent off, I mean, Vieira, his substitutions.
You didn't have a strategy. You didn't have a plan B.
It was lost at the moment. It's all a bit,
shocking.
But anyway, Anyway, so. What do you think we should do better? What do you think that Vieira should do to try and turn things around?
Oh, I think the team just needs to play well. We need to just give in a performance. We need to start getting some shots on target, because we haven't got a shot on target for the last 2 games. I think
we did. Liverpool was another game. Played all right, but didn't know how to hit the target properly. It's been a big problem this season.
Perhaps Man City might give us a chance. You never know, you luck.
It's gonna be, honestly, I'm dreading that game. Honestly,
I look at our next 3 games and I just see where are we. I don't think we're scoring, let alone getting any points.
I want to ask you this: how many points do you reckon we're going to get in our next 3 games between now and the end of March, coming up to the international break, especially, Haza?
I'd say 1 or 2 if we're lucky, but
1 or 2, a couple draws.
I just can't see us winning for a long time with the games. The next 3 games, we're not. I can't see us beating City. Not Brighton. I don't think we're going to beat at the Amex as well. Then we've got Arsenal away, the league leaders. It's going to be impossible.
It's harder, isn't it?
And I know we haven't lost to Arsenal for years, but I think that might end.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't. I think we haven't lost them in like 4 years. But the way they're playing right now, they're going to absolutely give it a pasting, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we'll get destroyed.
I mean, you never know in football. You never know. But I think that I think at the moment I've got nothing to hang my hat on.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me ask you one question before we let someone else join, Haza. It's been nice talking to you as well. Are you Vieira in or are you Vieira out? I'm going to ask this to a lot of fans today. Currently,
it's a tough one, because I would say out, but knowing that it's going to be like, who on earth what manager would be bringing next is going to be the tough thing. But exactly. I would say out just because we're just playing rubbish and there's no good performances right now.
I think it comes to a point when your manager becomes a liability. You know, there will come a point where we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
No.
But you know, if your manager becomes a liability, it's like, well, he's probably better off not even being there. You know, and perhaps getting a caretaker manager in. But anyway, I mean. We just have to wait and see.
But yeah, anyway, Haza, it's been nice talking to you. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a win at some point. I know you're dreaming of it. I am as well. But it's nice
hopefully,
yeah. Good having you on, mate. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Anyone else who wants to join, the link is there, my people. We're going to try and get as many people as we can on within this. I'd say maybe we've got an hour, maybe 20 minutes of doing this. But yeah, have your 10 minutes say. The link's also in the description and that as well. We're going to answer a few sort of comments and questions before we get the next person on in that as well. So feel free to wait on backstage, I should say, and we'll add you on. Jack Walker says get Vieira up tonight. I wouldn't say. I mean, I want him out, but I mean they're probably going to wait till the Brighton game afterwards or after the City game, depending on how the result goes. In my opinion.
Listen, I think if the Man City result goes really, really bad,
like 6-0 or something,
he'll go. If he's still there, and the thing is, he's only probably going to be like one game away from a sacking.
Yeah.
If we do badly at Brighton, then that's
game over.
I mean, you know,
that'll be 1 win in 16.
If we go to Brighton,
to Man City and Brighton,
I mean, if we go to Brighton and we lose 2-3-0 or something, and play really poorly, he's going to go. I mean, Parish will have no option. That'll be the only option on the table, and they'll have to get someone else in to try and get us over the line for the rest of the season.
Big up Joe, by the way, and that when was your last home win? October the 29th. We haven't won at home for nearly 3 months.
No.
Shamble. No, actually, 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months, isn't it? Yeah.
Stanley was in the queue earlier, wasn't it?
Let me join. Yeah, we're gonna add you on now, Stanley White, and that we're just gonna add him on now. How you doing, Stanley? You all right?
Hi, lads.
How you doing?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Just want to get your thoughts on the current situation at Crystal Palace. 1 win in 14. Vieira under pressure. Fans turning toxic at Villa. What do you make of it all, mate?
Personally, I think we're not doing. I don't think we're doing too bad. But for me, I don't know what he sees in Mateta and Edvard.
Yeah. No, definitely.
What he's done and what he sees in. Honestly, especially Mateta. I think you've got to give Edvard a chance, but Mateta, he don't do.
Oh
nothing.
yeah, definitely.
For me. I mean, we're not. You've got to give some. What's it called? You've got to blame Vieira on some of it, but he hasn't had no backing from the board. He hasn't had no money to spend since when he came in. The only money he spent was when Wan-Bissaka money. That's the only money he spent. Like, out of the what's it called, the owner's pocket, he hasn't actually spent none of it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the Wan-Bissaka money was used actually. I think, as far as I was told, was used to pay for the training,
the academy, and
the academy.
Yeah.
So I don't think he even got the money from that.
He did get backed in summer 2021 when we signed Elise, Edward, Hughes, Gay, and Anderson. He definitely got back then because the Americans invested in just for that summer. But obviously, the summer just gone. They didn't really invest that much. I mean, only key signing. He's playing constantly for us to check the Kure.
Yeah.
You know, that says it already between the two summers.
If Vieira was to go, what do you think what do you think Palace should do then? I mean, you know, who do we bring back? Who do we point as a caretaker? Do we point?
That's sorry, I can't hear you. What's happened?
Okay.
Can you boys hear me?
Now? Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Lads, I'm gonna join back in a second. I can't hear. Hang on.
Oh, okay. Might be a connection thing. It's all right. We'll just add it back quickly in that as well. I'm just going to answer this question, or this comment actually. CPFC, shout out to him in that. He says the problem is we definitely have the talent. However, compared to last season, Gallagher and Benteke scored 12 goals combined, not even including assists, and we haven't brought any goal scorers in. Yeah, I mean that's a definite fact. I mean we could do Christian Benteke back in the side as well because he did have a good purple.
The thing with Benteke is that although he weren't scoring goals, he was, you know, he was sort of, he had a bit of skill about. I mean, he's a Belgium international for God's sake. Yeah. So he had something about him,
a bit of ability.
And I would take him back tomorrow, to be honest with you, if that's all that's available.
Yeah, Stanley is back. Kira's all good now, Stanley? You can hear us? Or...
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. So go on, Dan, what were you saying to him?
No, I'm just saying if Vieira goes or we get rid of him, then what's the plan? What do you think should happen then? I mean, caretaker manager, who should come in? What should we do? It's all very well saying Vieira out, but then you've got to progress on from there.
I think we should still back Vieira. I can't lie. I think we should still back him.
In the summer?
I think so. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves in the summer. Honestly, I really wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think Vieira's going to be our manager next season anyway, no matter where it goes.
He's only a stepping stone for us, though, isn't he?
Was that?
Yeah, but if you was another Premiership club, would you take Vieira as your manager?
No, I wouldn't.
You're not wrong. I wouldn't touch him.
So I mean, I just think tactically, he's not as good as he should be for the Premier League.
What, the game, you could say like the game management and the substitutions. I mean, he's terrible.
Our management at the end of games that we should have. The Brentford game was a prime example.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind we've done the same thing at home. At home we're 1-0 up against Brentford, and what do we do? We parked the bus in the last 10 minutes.
I know, mate. I know. We need to press for another goal.
I know exactly. And we had no way out. And when we was away to Brentford, we did the same thing.
I think we deserved to. I can't lie.
What's that?
I think we deserved to leak a goal on that. I don't think we were good enough.
What the recent
the Brentford one? I think we deserved to leak a goal in. I can't lie.
I think you that one.
Yeah, the away game.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that we managed the end of the Liverpool game really well, and that's what we need to do. We don't, when you're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go, and then you decide to park the bus, you're telling the opposition,
"Come
out,
not
going to do anymore for the next 10 minutes. Come and attack us." And so they were just camping your half, and you're just inviting them on.
Exactly.
You've got to have an out. You've got to be able to get that ball. You've got to have players up there that you can give the ball, that can run into the corner flag and waste you 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I totally agree.
That's the side of the game we're just not managing.
Yeah.
When we do happen to be a goal up, because that would have been a fantastic winning if we beat Brentford.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind what form they're on at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean, lads. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, go on. What are you saying? Go on, Stanley.
Do you boys go to any of the games or what?
Oh, we go to all the away games.
Yeah, we try and go to
games,
as many away games. We go. We're season ticket holders, and we go to most of the games. So we went to Villa. We got tickets for Brighton, Arsenal.
You got tickets for Brighton? Did you say?
Yeah, we're going to Brighton. We'll be at Brighton.
Oh, man, I'm so gassed.
You going Brighton? Oh, nice, nice.
I'm going
they're so hard to get to, honestly.
I'm gassed. It's going to be a good day out, apart from the score.
Yeah.
Day out.
You never know. You never know. You have to keep the faith.
Yeah.
But do you boys see anything in Mattel, and Mattel especially?
What do we think of Mattel? Oh, diabolical. Waste of money, waste of space. Shambles.
Waste of wages. Like we sold Benteke. When we sold Benteke, I was like, right, okay, he's clearly got some kind of plan. You can't get rid of strikers, especially in our situation, and then like not replace him. So when he went, I can't remember what game it was, but I saw it when I was walking through Selhurst. I looked at it and Benteke had gone to wherever. And I was like, right, okay, well, he's clearly got a backup plan. So I thought, right, we're going to get a striker, didn't we? And then the transfer window shut. So I thought, me and my dad were talking about it. We've got Edvard and Mateta. Why have we sold Benteke when we're clearly needing goals?
Yeah, definitely. Looking back at it now.
But we don't get no striker in. The best striker we've had recently was Glenn Murray. And that was what, 2013? 2013, 2014. 10 years ago, with that half-decent striker.
Not good. Yeah, exactly. He had a bit of quality. He was a good finisher. And Edward and Mateta are just not clinical. They're weak. They're naive, and they just lack confidence and composure within their finisher and that in front of goal.
Mateta wasn't. I didn't think much of him when he first came to the club. And then last season, I thought he improved his fitness and he was putting himself about. But I thought, okay, there might be a little bit of potential here. But this season, he just he comes on. The thing is, what I don't get against Villa is that you got Eduardo on the bench, you got Mateta on the bench, and he brings Mateta on. Well, I'm not a great fan of either player. Yeah. But if I choose between the two, Edouard would win all the time because at least he's got some ability, I can't. I struggle. Mateta, you'd think Mateta would be fantastic in the air, wouldn't you? You think he's 6'4",
and he can't jump.
He couldn't even compete against Tyrone Mings on Saturday. It's basically the same height as him. Honestly. What's that, mate? So what's that?
He's the wrong side of Tyrone Mings. I don't know if you boys.
Yeah, I know.
Right in, he's the wrong side of him. Like, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff.
Get Roy back, Jesus. Yeah.
You know what I
Because the
mean?
other thing as well, I mean, what are your thoughts on Eze as well?
Oh yeah.
He was starting, wasn't he? I don't know. I think he's a very dangerous player to bring on, but I still think he should be starting. I don't know why he doesn't start him.
Yeah, because he started against Villa, but then he doesn't start him in the right position. So
I know.
he puts him on the right. I mean,
Yes.
Eze's best position is always going to be down the middle.
Can I ask you something, Stanley? What do you make of Vieira just playing players out of position? You got Wilf, who was playing as a striker when he's a winger. Eze, he was playing as a winger when he's a cam. What do you make of it? Because for me, it's just shambles and just shows just, you know, he doesn't know his best team. He's completely unorganized and just a bit delusional when it comes to playing, you know, to picking players in their certain positions and then playing them out of position.
Yeah, I was going to back to mention that. Well, you've got what you had: Elise, Eze, Zaha, and Eze. Have I said Eze? I don't know. He plays Zaha through the middle. He should be on the wing. He plays Elise He plays him on the wrong wing. He's supposed to be on. He plays Eze on the wing. He's through the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know what he doesn't get. You don't do that. The amount of quality we've got, and he plays all out of position. I don't get it. I really don't.
I think for me, for Eze, I think he's at the moment. I would very much have him come in on as a sub. I know.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, Eze doesn't do sort of enough defensively. His performance against Villa, he was just out of sorts. He was in the wrong position. You could see he didn't fancy it there, you know, and he just didn't get into the game at all. You know. But Eze's got the ability. He just needs to improve his defense a bit.
I think Eze and Elise are more luxury players. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Elise, the thing is that he's crossing
horrendous.
How many times does he cross the ball and it goes out for a goal kick
or into the stands?
I know.
You know?
Embarrassing.
I mean, we know the thing is, I'd say this as well, and let me know if you agree on this. We know what these players are capable of, especially on the back end of last season. Edouard coming on his debut, scoring twice against Spurs. Elise scoring stunning goals and set pieces like the one he scored this season as well against Man United. Eze, you know, that guy's got complete ability, but you know, Eze, for example, he'll show up for like 5 minutes during a game and then disappear, and then he'll come off as a sub. Or just you won't see him again for the rest of the match. I mean, do you agree with that at all, mate? Or what do you make of that?
No, I agree with you there. But can I quickly mention something? This guy's just put Roy is better than Vieira on the what's it called on the chat. I think with that we've been in the Premier League 10 seasons now.
Yeah,
and
decades.
Every single season, it's fighting for relegation or sitting mid-table. Usually, fighting for relegation. I think the fans have given up with fighting for relegation.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Enough squad to start going for, I don't know, top half table, even towards Europa League. Like, obviously not good enough for Europa League at the moment. We haven't got enough good enough players, deep enough squad. But
we're miles away from that.
We're not a relegation battle team. No chance. We're bigger than that. We should be fighting.
Yeah, we are.
I think that as well. But in reality, it's not.
The reality is, I remember back. I think it was in the 90s where Forest were at the bottom of the division, and everyone said they're too good to go down. All the pundits said, no, they're too good to go down. They're too good to go down. And that's Brian Clough, their manager, and they got relegated. So, you know, I think that for me, we've got the players, but they need a method to get them.
They need to be organised.
You know,
in my opinion.
I don't think the Vieira's got it in him to get the team in a position to win the games that they need to win. I mean, it's still going to be close, and I think that, you know, I'm still sort of a bit confident we'll stay up. But if we don't start, you know, the next 3 games, to be honest, is look. I mean, if we get a point out of them, I'll be happy.
We're happy.
But
same.
I just sort of, it's going to get to a point in the season. You're going to need players that are going to battle. They're going to be fighting. You know, you want a bunch of MacArthurs in your team.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, MacArthur as well. I mean, whilst he come on as sub, you know, he was running after a guy, and you could see that his legs just weren't what they were. And you can't. I mean, the guy's been injured. You know, 36, 37 now, whatever.
35, I think.
35. So you know, if we had a team with his professionalism and his dedication to football, then, you know, I'd be a lot more confident about it.
Someone says here the Saint is sower. I mean, I really agree with this. He says the desire is gone. What you know, what is our target? He says to simply survive in the Prem. It's not good enough. Yeah, that's on my.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking as well. He also goes on saying, I don't want us pushing too far, but there is no desire. I feel like we lost our identity and a bit of ambition. I mean, wouldn't you two agree with that, Stanley?
That's completely correct. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
I think what happened last season was that we started this season being optimistic, and a lot of Palace fans, we can push through Europe and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And what happens? Brentford, Brighton, and Fulham do exactly what we thought our club was going to do.
Yeah.
We left in their wake, and we're on a crest of a slump. And you know, and now here we are again talking about, you know, staying in the Premiership
again.
And you've got teams that have progressed, and we've gone backwards.
Well, that's Fulham, Brentford, and our rivals Brighton.
And you got to take. They're doing things right. You know, whether it's scouting. I mean, I don't know who scouts for Crystal Palace, but
it's Dougie Freeman, isn't it?
I think they must do it with a brown paper bag.
What do you make of the scouting, Stanley? By the way, what do you make of it? You know, currently right now,
I think it's very good. I think it is good. We've got the academy. We've got is ridiculous. But why don't we play any players? Look, that time in Spurs, we had what was it? Joel Ward out, and he thought, we'll bring Wan-Bissaka. We've given him a go. Look what happened to him. We sold him 50-odd million. Do you know what I mean?
We haven't really replaced him at that right back position, have we?
I think there's always going to be. The problem is that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So when like Ransaki's gone off to Charlton on loan, there must have been some sort of reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but part of me thinks, are you telling me that Ransaki is worse than Mateta?
No,
I don't remember Mateta.
I mean,
I'd have Kamari Gordon up front with Raksaki and Zaha as our front. To be fair,
I just don't understand his policy of loaning these youngsters out.
Yeah,
you know. And the other thing, what's happened to that guy that we got from Derby? What's his name? There was a guy that
Malcolm Abu. He got loaned to Hull.
Oh, what's his name?
Hold on. Was that Stanley?
I know you're on about.
Abue. Malcolm Abue.
Yep, was it him? Someone like that, yeah. Can I ask you a question as well?
Yeah.
Why didn't we go for Ollie Watkins? Why? I think Ollie Watkins, before we went to Villa, we should have had him. We should. Yeah. I still think we should be looking into Iheanacho.
Yeah. The problem with Crystal Palace, and this is just the reality of our club. Okay, it comes down to finance. Okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we are never going to be until like, you know, the owner of Amazon or someone comes in and buys a club and builds us a brand new spanking new stadium. We are not. And if you are Ollie Watkins at Brentford, and Villa come in, Villa are always going to offer him more money than us. Exactly. And that's the problem.
They get a good wage a week there.
You know,
compared to
the amount of times I go to the BBC website and look at the gossip thing, and it's, you know, this player's going here, that Palace are looking at him, Palace are looking at him. They never pick Palace. They never come to Palace. You know, it's like Ings that went from Villa to West Ham. It's like, well, why did
Mayo picked Bournemouth over?
Why didn't he come to Palace? And I mean, and honestly, the fact is that you've got that Brighton, that youngster centre forward of Brighton.
So Evan Ferguson.
Ferguson.
Yeah, Evan Ferguson. Yeah.
He chose Brighton over Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool were going to give him a contract, but he was so impressed with the way Brighton were bringing players through into the first team, and he thought that's all. And he went there because he knew he'd get first team football. And I'm thinking, you know, what are we not doing at Crystal Palace in that? Money's always going to be a problem for us.
Yeah,
and the academy seems to be producing players that do well in the under 23, but they can't. I don't know whether they haven't got the ability to move on to the first team, or whether they don't have the opportunity, or they're not coached right. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's just not happening.
Before you go, Stanley, we just want to get a few other people on, and that, if that's all right. Just got to read this comment out and that as well. Man City, we get battered. Brighton, we get battered. Arsenal, we get battered. Vieira should be going after the game. Want to ask you quickly now: are you Vieira in or are you Vieira out?
Oh, I'm Vieira in. I can't lie. Can I mention something else? Well, is that all right?
Go on.
Right, the owners, they go and buy Lyon in France. How does that work? They put what, 500 million quid into that, but don't give us. And also,
these Americans though, they're not the owners. So the people the person that's got the balance of the shares is Parish. Yeah. So these guys from America, to be honest with you, I don't think they could care less whether we go down or we don't.
Yeah, I don't think they could.
Yeah, they don't even understand football.
I've given my views on American owners of football clubs. Look, they're in it to make money.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're sports companies. Okay, it's not. They're not. It's not a Crystal Palace company. He runs a sports company, and he's got his fingers in loads of pies. And for him, he makes money, he loses money. Palace to him is nothing to him.
Pocket money.
It's just
a business.
It's just a name and some figures on a balance sheet.
Yeah.
You know, do you think he leaves his sleep at night worrying about whether we're going to beat Man City or not? Of course he doesn't.
Exactly. But anyway, Stanley, thanks for hopping on that. Pleasure talking. Pleasure having you on here and that as well.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. We're just going to read a few more comments before we invite the next person on. The link is there in the chat and in the description down below for people to join. We'll just add you on as soon as you are on backstage. So I was saying, we're not getting relegated. As CPFC said, other teams are worse than us in the. Yeah, I don't know what you've been watching recently.
When I see comments like that, okay, my view on it's all about momentum.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Vieira, this is the worst run any manager's had in the Premiership since its history. Okay. Every manager that's had a run as bad as his has got sacked before the 14th game.
Yeah.
So
that's in the record of the Premier, by the way, as well.
So we've got that. There's other seasons, you know, what our form usually would be like, you know, lose 2, win 2.
Do what? You know, I'll say this: when Alan Pardew was the manager, we lost 6 in a row, and then they sort of sacked him after that.
The thing is, it's all about momentum. Now, who knows? We beat Man City, it might turn our season around. But
that's not going to happen.
If you can put some evidence in front of me to show me that, then I'll look at it. But at the moment, generally speaking, in a season, on average, 37 points keeps you up. 37 points isn't going to keep you up this season.
No,
okay,
this
is the most competitive season ever in the Premiership. Now, normally, like this time last year, Watford and Norwich were already down. So all you've got to worry about is one other team joining them. And as long as you can keep away from that team, then you'll stay up. That's not like this season. Bournemouth showed it. I know they lost against Arsenal. Bournemouth showed they're more than capable of staying up. And so Southampton, you know, they went 1-up against Leicester and they battled and they got the 3 points. Okay. And I look at Crystal Palace and I'm thinking, do we have what it takes? Do we have the guts and the determination?
Do you think we got the players?
We've got the players. And I just think they lack lack a bit, they lack sharpness on the pitch. And we need to sort of build up some sort of momentum. And they don't. When Mateta come on, I looked at Wilf, and Wilf hadn't got a clue. Mateta was trying to give him some instructions, and Wilf didn't have a clue what he was. You could see by Wilf, he was looking around to the other players doing like this.
Yeah. When
it's like, so you got the players on the pitch who we were making a substitution because we'd gone down to 10 men, and there was no like, oh, what do we? They were all looking at each other because they didn't really know what the plan was. So. Things are a bit different this season. Most of the time, I'll be honest with you, all the other seasons, I'm like, you know, I get to a point where I'm a little bit worried, but I think, you know, I think we've got enough here.
This season, we're really worried.
This season is the first time
2 months
since
away
we
from
got
the season.
promoted.
Yeah.
Where, as I say, statistically, we should be staying up. And statistically, normally, when you look at the bottom 6 of the season, 3 of those the 3 that get relegated come out of that bottom 6. Now, every now and again, you'll get a team who will just free for all. I think Middlesbrough done it one season.
Yeah.
Bournemouth did it a couple of seasons ago. Blackpool did it. That Blackpool was the classic one. 28 points they had, were breezing it, and then they just collapsed and got relegated. So there's no room for complacency. I'm not saying we're going to go down. I'm saying we are in a relegation battle. And if we don't wake up, smell that coffee,
big time,
and understand it, it's going to be too late. And I don't want to be in a position where we end up in the bottom 3, and then the players think, oh, blimey, we're in a bit of a pickle here because it's too late.
You're running out of games. Got Frank. I'm going to add Frank on. Frank, how are you, mate? You all right?
I'm sweet, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Hello, Frank.
Just want to get your thoughts on what's gone wrong at Palace this season and our recent run of 1 win in 14. What do you make of it all, mate? Honestly,
it's piss poor. It is. I think that's to say the least. We're in a trouble, that's for sure. We're not in a place where we should be, and I don't quite think Vieira is, especially doing his job at the moment. He is doing pretty poor, and I feel we've had a massive downfall.
Yeah. Do you think it's because he hasn't been backed, or he's just completely lost the dressing room, or is it both for you? What would you say?
He's not been backed. He ain't got the financial backing, but at the same time, I feel like he's lost control of the players. I mean, it's shown when he's playing players out of position. He's clearly not got the understanding of player and their full abilities.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got the players to stay up, but they're not playing it to a method that they can understand, you know. And I know
100%.
When Roy was at the club, now when he joined the club, let's be honest with you, he kept us up, all the rest of it. Now, I understand why he went, and he was the football towards the end was really getting quite tawdry, it's like, God, you know what I mean? So I can understand why he went. But to be honest with you, in the position that we're in, I mean, I'm not saying bring Roy back, but we need somebody that can bring a method of play to our football and to get us to transition up the pitch and defend as a team. You know, I watched the Brentford-Fulham game the other night, and I was just in awe of them. You know, in the fact that whilst Fulham didn't have a great second half, you could see a method in their play. You could see the build-up in their play. You could see both teams defending and whatever. You could see that they had a plan and they had a strategy to win a game of football. And I watched Crystal Palace, and I just sometimes don't see it. Now, I sympathise with that with Vieira in that he's not had the players.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you throw in the towel.
Especially this time of the season as well.
And as I say, tactically, I think Vieira's, is not as good as he should be, particularly on
But what do you make of him tactically, Frank, by the way? Just your thoughts on it
tactically?
Overall. Yeah.
I feel like tactically the tactics are wrong. I feel our team is not gelled together at all. The defense is completely different to the midfield, and the midfield's different to the attack. When we go forward, we have one man up front. We send a long ball up there. He has no one to pass to. There's no consistency going forward or coming back. It's poor. And when it comes to attacking, that's why, final third, we're awful. We can't score goals. And it seems like Roy Hodgson was just sitting back constantly and getting points. And I feel like we're not improved this season. We haven't improved from that. We're picking up points against big teams, but games that we should be winning, we're not winning. We've not got that full final whistle going to the end consistency. We just lack tactically. I feel we need. I don't know. We need a different manager that will bring it all together and gel it. Whereas we're completely split apart.
Like get the players organised, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
getting them playing a system, having a plan B.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should have because you look at these body language? Do you think that Palace really need a manager like it's got a bit more passion?
100%. I think that's what I feel. Getting rid of Derry and for having a go at the players, I feel like we needed that. We can't. Vieira, not being funny, we lose Tottenham 4-0, we lose Fulham 3-0, and he still stands there in an interview and says that we played well. You can't tell me. You can't.
It's pure delusional, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. You got to rip into the players. I mean, when West Ham lost 4-0 to Brighton, Declan Rice was honest and said it was piss poor, and they got played all over the pitch. Whereas you'll never see Vieira say the honest facts. He'll sit there and try to back the players.
Yeah, I think Vieira tries to take a leaf out of Wenger's book, where he doesn't tear into the players. Now, there are times when you shouldn't tear into a player, but there are times when you should. They get paid an awful lot of money, and if they're going on the pitch and they're not giving 100%, then they need to be told that. And it might well be that sometimes they go onto the pitch, they think they're giving 100%, but if they're not, if you don't have the full confidence of your manager of what then you're like thinking, I don't think our manager knows what he's doing here. And whether any of that sort of crept in. I mean, you look at the season last season, you think, well, Vieira's, he knows what he's doing. And it's been particularly this season, because to be honest with you, before the World Cup, say before the Forest game, he wasn't that bad. I mean, 22 points. And we thought, well, okay, 22 points. We're not even halfway through the season, so we should be okay. But something happened at the club. I don't know what it was, but in some comments I've made on Facebook, it's like somebody walked into the club and switched the lights off.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, at Forest,
it's like identity's kind of gone. To be fair,
when we played Forest, if we had won that game, we would have went 8th going into the World Cup. Like,
I know.
And now now we're looking next 3 games. We're probably looking at being 1-2 points out of the relegation zone if we don't pick up any points.
Well, can you? Listen. Let's be realistic. I can't see us beating City this weekend. No way we're going to beat Brighton after what they did to West Ham, and no way we're going to go to the league leaders Arsenal and win. We're going to end up with 3 defeats in a row. And this is my opinion, and we'll definitely be in the bottom 3 by the end of March before the international break.
I agree.
Unless we just turn it around quickly, out of the blue, out of nowhere.
I mean, the only thing that's going in our favour is towards the end of the season, we have a good run of games, winnable games. In which we're going to be relying on them massively to get.
And I mean, the thing is what you got to understand is that when you're in this sort of form, other clubs will gun for you. They'll come gunning for you because they'll know they might think, well, Palace are there; they're there for the taking. And if we can nick 3 points off of Palace, then it'll put them in the mire. And as I say, when you drop into that bottom 3, psychologically, it's incredibly difficult at this time of the season. When you've been out of the bottom 3 all season, and it comes to 10 games to go, and you hit into the bottom 3, that is a big. You'll find out who the players are at the club.
100%. I don't feel like we have a player in a team that plays for the badge, and not like we don't have a fighting player that consistently goes. I
completely agree. I don't think Wilf has the passion, compared to how he was maybe a year or 2 ago. He's still our top player and he does care, but I just think he's looked at the other players in Vieira, and it's clear they don't care, and he's like, why should I then? The only one who I think would show a bit of passion is MacArthur, in my opinion, looking at it.
MacArthur and Hughes. I feel like Hughes gets stuck in.
Yeah, Hughes as well, definitely. Big up Hughes,
but besides that, they're not even starting 11 players for us. Our starting 11, none of them give a fuck.
Exactly, honestly. Got a question here from CPFC before we get on with the other ones and that as well. Do you think we need to give Amada a go? What are your personal thoughts on that, Frank? Would you say yes to that? Or no?
I don't feel like we've seen enough of him to, completely judge him. I don't feel like he's been given a major opportunity. I feel like Sambi has a lot of potential behind him. After definitely. What I've seen of him, but I think Amada, we need to see more of him before we make a solid judgment.
Exactly. And before we let you go, Frank, Vieira in or Vieira out currently?
Vieira out personally.
Fair enough.
I mean, going to games. I mean, my favourite part is getting cheese boards and not even watching the game. So,
oh god, that says it all, really, don't it, mate? But anyways, man, it's nice talking to you, man. Pleasure having you on the channel. Yeah.
Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. We're gonna add my guy Mad Mason on and that as well. Give me 1 sec, mate. Should be. Yeah, there we go. How are you, Mason? You good, man? How are you, brother? How are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. It's, what, watching this run of games, let's just say I've been better as a Palace fan. You know what, mate, this run of games, it's just poor, boring to watch. I looked at the game against Villa and I was like, this is probably going to be a 1-0, and it was. No shots on goal again.
Yeah.
There's been games this season, Leicester, Forest, Villa now, no shots on goal. And you guys have paid money to get up there and left at home early and whatnot, made all the effort, and the players ain't. And that's as simple as that.
Yeah. Not good
it's terrible.
Shambles, mate.
So what do you think is going to happen between now and the end of the season?
I think it all depends on how bad we get beat, because I think we will get beat, but it's how bad we get beat against City and Brighton. Because if you think about it, Vieira might turn around and go, you know what? I got embarrassed by City, embarrassed by our rivals Brighton. I'm not going to embarrass myself against Arsenal, my former club. Bye-bye.
That is true, actually. Thinking of
that might become apparent. But at the end of the day, I think he's lost them all.
He's out of his depth, in my opinion. He's clueless.
Yeah, he is.
He hasn't got a clue. He hasn't got a plan B. No strategy.
And he's got a very calm approach. Like getting rid of Derry. I have no idea why he's done that, because if I was Derry, I'd be giving the players a kick up the arse as well for the performances. And, you know, if I was Vieira watching Derry, I would not blame him. But obviously, Vieira's got a very calm approach. And at the end of the day, when you're in a relegation battle, you can't have a calm approach, because we're just going to go down and down and down.
Because you can't imagine Vieira when he was a player being like that. You can't. I can imagine. I'm sure that if he went into half-time 2-0 down, he's not going to sit there nice and quietly on the bench, is he? In the dressing room, talking nicely to his. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why he does it differently as a manager, I don't know. But if you got rid of Vieira, who would you like? What would be our plan then? If we got rid of him, what's our plan?
I mean, it's all down to the board, really. I don't know what the board have in mind about a new manager. I mean, we don't even know if the board are looking to get rid of him or not. They might somehow be impressed with his performances somehow. But at the end of the day, I think we just need an experienced manager who can deal with this sort of situation. And even if I've never really seen a manager that comes in now and goes at the end of the season, and, you know, when we're this late in, but someone just with a bit of experience in this situation. Because if you look at it, right, we're probably going to lose our next 3 games anyway. We might be in the bottom 3 by the end of the results.
Mason, sorry to be, I don't want to interrupt you, but we will be in the bottom 3. That's a definite, because all the other teams like Southampton, Bournemouth have won more than we have. We're the only team in the Prem this year without a win in 2023. And we're doing this, and all the other teams who have won, they've got the momentum and they're rising.
Yeah,
you know, I think the only 2 teams that probably will be in the bottom 3 of us will probably be either, I'd say, Everton or Leeds, based on recent form, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing is, right, I've got to say with other Palace fans, right, a lot of Palace fans are saying, stay calm, we won't go down. Probably because every single season we've seen an escape of some sort. But each time we've escaped, before the escape, I'm like, well, we've got this team coming up. If we get a win or even a draw, it will be a massive point. We've got City, Brighton, and Arsenal, and even after that, I mean, say if we lose all them games, that's 1 win in 17.
I know.
How are you going to get out of that run? I mean, I know people are saying we've got Everton, we've got Southampton, etc. But at the end of the day, they're improving and we're not.
Yeah,
so,
big time.
Like,
they got more financial backing, more players compared to us as well.
People are making out these teams are worse than us. I can't see it, given this form that we're on. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, but calm down. We've played Newcastle. We've played United twice. We've played Chelsea. We've played even Brighton and Brentford. But I'm sorry, right? We've been dropping points against teams like Brentford, for example. I know Brentford have been a brilliant team this season, but we've dropped 4 points against them this season when we're in both games. They weren't great. Villa.
We're winning both games, winning both games.
And then we sat too deep, and then they started playing, and then of course they'll take the chance and score, won't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Villa. I don't think Villa were all that really. It was as soon as we went down to 10 men, that was game done.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Well,
we said we were watching it.
From the attitude of the players, as soon as we went 1-0 down, that was game done, and that's been the attitude from the players since I'd say since we lost to Fulham.
Do you think we should call it? Do you think we should bring in a caretaker manager? Because I keep looking through and I can't see a manager who's available. Between now and the end of the season, or give him a contract to. I don't. I mean, unless you want Roy back. I mean, I don't know. I know. I don't. That's not going to happen because I don't think the players will like it. But you know, who's gonna
Scott Parker, someone says he got sacked today by Club Brugge. Would you want Scott Parker in charge? Got the experience as a Champions League manager, Dad, you know, why not?
No, you know what? At the end of the day, the major answer was Sean Dyche. And now he's gone to Everton. I can't see us getting in a manager. So maybe a caretaker manager. And obviously, say if we get rid of Vieira after Arsenal, and if we lose our next 3 games, that would be the most logical thing to do. We've only got a month and a half left of the season.
Real talk, yeah.
And the thing is as well, the club won't know of our position until the end of the season. Because if we get a good manager in, I doubt we will because of the budget we've got. But if we bring in a good manager and go down, he ain't staying.
100%. Yeah.
So,
I think any manager that would come in after Vieira is only going to be a caretaker manager to the end of the season.
Yeah,
the thing is, even you look at some of the ex-managers that we've had try and bring, they're not going to. Well, I don't think the players would respond. I mean, you look at Big Sam. I don't think the players would respond if he was to come back.
What about Pulis? If he's still available?
Well, no, joking. He's got too much bad.
Oh yeah, the whole money thing. Definitely not.
So, that's the only thing I was struggling with Vieira. But I think there's going to come a point where it's better off him not being at the club. It's better off perhaps the players manage it themselves.
The thing is with Vieira is a lot of things compounding. There's the arrogance. There's obviously the run of games that we've had, and he's come out and said against Villa that we were matching them. Getting tested for drugs.
Delusional comments. Mason, it's delusional comments. He hasn't got a clue. He's lost the plot. He's out of his flipping league, and it's only going to get worse. I've got a comment here from Jack Walker. He says the reason we're in a relegation scrap is because of the manager. That is a partial reason, but the other half of that is because of the board. Do you agree? What do you make of the whole board?
We have to. Mason, you know what, honestly? Right? I was having a chat with Jordan off Eagle Eye Football before I come on about the board, because your whole thing's about Vieira, but we have to put blame on the board as well. We have to, because you know what? Another thing about getting the new manager in, when Roy left, we had a pot of money there for the summer that we all knew was there. Vieira come in, got rid of the scraps from under Roy, like Cahill was aging, James McCarthy, etc. We all know that. He brought in a good amount of talent with £65 million, I think it was.
Yeah, young players indeed.
And then we relied on one transfer window for 2 years. We've now got a threadbare squad, and now we've got a pot of money again. So if we get a new manager in who's got, well, hopefully some good ideas, so what? We're going to have a pot of money again, and then 2 years later we've got a threadbare squad. Because on my channel, I've said it all along, is that some players know that no matter how bad they play, they're in next week.
Yeah,
like Mitchell, for example.
Mitchell,
Eze,
Zaha.
Even.
Yeah, Wilf. We depend on Wilf. Well, personally, it's a personal opinion. I know he's our best player, but he's been there 10 years.
Nearly, yeah.
You know. I think in 2015, 2016 times we should have been thinking about a Wilf replacement. We're in 2023, for God's sake, and we still haven't got We still haven't got an idea.
You're not wrong. Definitely. We're still relying on Wilf nearly 10 years later. I mean, that says it all.
Do you think that the money that's put aside for the new stand has affected our ability to because I'm struggling to understand why we didn't bring some players in during the transfer window.
Summer and January, especially.
Looking at it, right, in January, we was all sitting there in January and going, right, what do we need? We need a backup left back. We need a striker. Because that was around about the time when Vieira, that's another thing that's compounded Vieira as well. I forgot to mention it, the Edouard situation.
Oh,
anyway, yeah, that's not part of the question. We need a new striker because he stopped playing Edouard. Mateta's not good enough, and Jordan Ayew's not scored a goal in God knows how many years.
3 months nearly for that one. Yeah,
we was also like we need a backup centre back because we was like we've got Richards has come in and done an all right job, but what if I don't know Gay or Anderson got injured and then we've not? Then it's Richards, and then we've got to depend on Tompkins on the bench. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not great. Yeah. And we need a right back. Both of our right backs.
We got Ferguson, mate. We got Nathan Ferguson.
How long's he been there? 4 years.
Nearly 3 years. Nearly 3 years.
But at the end of the day, with
one appearance for 3 years.
With the new stand and all that, I'm glad that we're expanding the ground somewhat. But what I don't want us to be doing is unveiling it when we're in the Championship.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's
so. And what really confuses me is that we've spent £10.5 million on Hamada. He's not really been given the chance thus far. We've got Lokonga in on loan, which I admit is a good signing, but did we really need him?
I think we did. In my opinion, I think he drives a lot. He's very composed. He's quite relaxed on the ball. I reckon we did need him.
Yeah, but
we needed someone to go along.
There's other positions on that pitch that needed addressing as like an emergency.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like a right back, a striker, maybe even a backup goalkeeper currently as well. based on the situations we got with a few
with
injuries.
With regard to our striking, I mean, I look at the two, Eduardo and Mateta.
Yeah.
And I know that obviously Vieira's got his thing about Eduardo and stuff. And when he brought Mateta on, I'm like thinking, I got issues with both players, to be honest with you. I've never been a great Eduardo fan. But if I had to choose between the two, I pick Eduardo because at least he's got some football ability. He's got some where he can do these little runs or control the ball. And I look at Mateta playing, and I'm struggling to find a strength. For his size, he should be heading the ball. He should win every ball in the air. He should win.
Like Mateta, I saw on Eagle Eye Football, so I'm not going to take credit for this comment because I'm basically copying what someone said. But we got Mateta in as a sort of Benteke replacement, but he's not good in the air.
Yeah, he's 6'4". He can't even dribble. Can't even head the ball. Can't even control it.
Do you know what? Right?
He doesn't even play like a professional footballer, in my opinion.
When we was at home to Brighton, I was at home watching it, and I was physically watching him at some points when the camera was panning on him, and I was like, "You're not good enough, mate. Yeah. You're not good enough." It was handed. Remember when Casado gave him the ball in the box on a plate?
Yeah,
and he looked like he didn't know how to hit it.
Yeah. Well, the classic one was the Liverpool game.
Oh, don't even get me started on that, Dad. Oh, God.
He chipped it. We were standing right behind him. Yeah.
Honestly, mate, it's just terrible right now. And I think the only way that we can, try and get out of this mess is just to get Vieira out first of all. I'm not being funny. I think we're going to lose these games. The only way I think Vieira stays is if he gets some sort of miracle.
He ain't staying. But he's one game away from Mason. He's one game away from the sack. 1 game away.
He was one game away. To be honest with you, listen, if we'd have started the season after 14 games, 1 win, well, he wouldn't even be in the job. Even after 10 games, he wouldn't have been in the job.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have sacked him. There's no dispute about that.
Like 6 wins all season. That is poor. And you know what as well? I think only 1 out of the 6 games that we have appeared to win, we actually deserved.
Yeah.
Villa at home.
Yeah.
We went 1-0 down, we come back, and we dominated them for the rest of the game. If you go through the other games, Leeds dominated in the first half. We were poor in that first half, and we were lucky to win in the end. Wolves, terrible in that first half. We just got a decent goal right at the start of the second half, and we managed to scrimp and scrape that. Southampton, remember the amount of chances Southampton fluffed up in that second half? Aribo and Adams and players like that just missing clear-cut chances. If that was a Liverpool or a Man City, we'd have got slaughtered. West Ham, it was a giveaway for Zaha's goal and then a deflection.
Yeah.
For
I'm not gonna lie. I disagree with that point. I thought we played well against West Ham because they were crap.
We did play well against Man City. We did play well against West Ham, but West Ham were awful.
No, they were terrible.
Yeah, and that leads me on to the other win, Bournemouth. I always say no game in the Premier League is easy, but that was easy. Bournemouth made that easy for us, and that's why we come out with that win.
Horrible, shocking defending.
I know.
So I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, do you know what? Probably going to lose our next 3 games. We've got a better running than what we've had, but with the losses and draws that we keep getting, and people think that we're still better than these clubs, even though they're improving, I just don't see it.
I know. I see these comments that they make, and I'm like thinking, what actually are you watching week in, week out?
Yeah.
For me, this season is so much different from all the other seasons where we've been involved. As I said before, this year, the Premiership, this is the most competitive it's ever been, I think, in its history this season. Every season, there's always a couple of teams that have fallen by the wayside. Like last year, it was like Norwich and Watford. And this season, even the team bottom has got more than a good chance of staying up. You string 2 or 3 wins together, you're out of there, and and we're the only club. If you look at those bottom clubs below us, you look at Palace and the teams. Put a line through the clubs you don't think are going to go down, even the ones that are really playing badly. I can't see West Ham going down.
With the players they got. I
know they're playing really bad, and I'm sure West Ham fans might say something different. But I look at it and I'm thinking, I can't see West Ham being relegated. I can't see Wolves being relegated.
Forest.
I can't see Forest being relegated. And I'm struggling to even see Everton getting relegated.
Look, they got Dyche in it.
And then I thought Southampton, Bournemouth, but then Southampton, pull a win out their backside. So it's just going to be incredibly tight. So when people say to me, "Oh, we after the Arsenal game, we got an easy run," there's no easy run in. There's no easy
but it really frustrates me when I've seen fans come out and say, "We started the run in 12th and we're still 12th." Yeah, but we're 3-4 points now off the drop zone. We're back at the start. We were like 15 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the difference.
I mean, I just wonder at what point are they going to call the fire brigade? I mean, if you see a little fire in your house, do you just look at it and thinking, that's okay, don't worry, it'll go away, don't worry. And then half the room's on fire, and it's like, it's okay, don't worry, it'll go, it'll peter out, don't worry about it.
Good analogy.
Oh, the house is completely on fire. Oh, do you know what? I think we better call the fire brigade, mate. I mean, it just beggars belief in my head.
Yeah. Eagle says, how do I join? There's a link in the description down below, or go on the live chat if you want to join next up, mate. Just thought I'd let you know. Go on, Mason, what you saying?
Honestly, mate, like, I spoke to a couple of Villa fans on my TikTok, and honestly, all they were saying was, I can't believe how easy you made that for us. Because I was, even though we've had, even though we had a bad run-in, I was looking at Villa and I was like, you know what? They've shipped a lot of goals.
Yeah.
As long as we go out there with a bit of attacking intent, we will get something out of this game. And we went 1-0 up, unlucky offside, and then we just stopped. We just stopped, and we let Villa come on to us. Even though Villa was slow in that first half, we still let them come at us. It was like that game against Villa kind of reminded me under Roy, where he used to sit back and try and press on the counter-attack. But we haven't got that counter-attack ability no more.
What do you make of this comment here from CPFC AJ? This all I can say is Vieira in, because we can't
get rid of him due to the lack of wins.
Yeah.
It was the same last season, but we're playing well and getting draws against top to sit. No, mate. No. Mate,
it's not the same as
we're not winning any games. We haven't won a game in 2022.
Mate, what's his name again? CPFC AJ. Mate, honestly, if you look at our gameplay last season against our gameplay this season, would you think it's the same team? Absolutely not. Were there games last season where we was registering no shots on target? There might have been 1 or 2, but not 3 or 4.
Not many.
It's consistently it's consistently no shots on target, no chances made. Don't look threatening, and if it wasn't for our 2 centre halves, we'd be in a right old mess. I think that we can probably set our stall out to sort of get a point like against Newcastle or Man United. I mean, even the Man United draw. I mean, Man United just didn't turn up that night.
Man United just switched off at the second half, and it was just a really good free kick from Elise. Even the point against Newcastle, it was because all the Newcastle shots had about 15 shots on goal, but they were all going straight at the keeper.
Mason, Newcastle, they've only scored like 3 goals this year in 2023 or something.
They scored actually less goals than we have.
Somehow.
In 2023,
absolute miracle.
Newcastle scored less goals than us in the Premier League.
Jack Walker says here you should do a fan meet. We do actually hang around after the game most times, whether it's a loss, a win, or a draw, in the fan zone. Eagle Eye Football Do Fan Camp. So if you want to come and meet me there, feel free to. And I'll definitely be there this Saturday. No matter if we do 6-0 win 3-1 or draw 0-0 or something.
I'm a season ticket holder, and I'm not sure if I'm really going to be going. I really struggle to watch Crystal Palace. It just breaks my heart, to be honest with you.
Sorry. Speaking of breaking hearts, comments like this break my heart. And that Palace fan 1204 says it would be nice having a new main stand in the Championship. I hope that's sarcasm, because if you actually mean that, then
when are they going to start building this new stand? Anyway?
They started development in 2017, mate.
Oh. 5-6 years ago.
But that was the other thing where they waste money. So they got planning permission, which then terminated because they didn't build and had to reapply for the planning permission.
Yeah.
So that just means that the costs have gone up. So instead of building it like 3 years ago, you're going to build it now and your costs have probably doubled. So that, yeah, thanks for that.
Unbelievable.
But I don't even know when we're going to start. And also the people that sit in that stand, where they going to go? So, you know, if we was to stay up, and then I'm assuming when they knock that stand down, they're not going to put some temporary structure up while it's being built. I don't know. And I don't even know how long it's going to take them to build it.
Going off subject a bit here in that, another comment from Palace fan 1204. He says only players like Anderson, Maka, and Wilf, and maybe I think he means Mark Gay, show passion for the club and the fans. You're not wrong. I mean, I was watching after the game when the full-time whistle went. Anderson had his shirt up like this, and Gay was accompanying him. Sahar came over, clapped the fans. So did MacArthur, and the others just left alongside Vieira. Didn't even thank the fans. He just came halfway, shook the ref's hands, and just went down the tunnel. Couldn't give a damn, could he? You know what I mean? That's
mate. There were some players. There were some players that I was watching that Villa game, and even though I weren't there, I was just disgusted watching some of them. Like, well, I've been giving Decore a lot of credit this season, and I reckon he's going to be contender for one of our best players this season, like in terms of first impressions and whatnot. But that was stupidity. I know it was out of what you call it. He was frustrated.
Yeah. He does it first. He was lucky he didn't get a straight red the way he went in. Flipping out.
But you were saying he probably got frustrated, and you know.
Yeah, and then you've got players like Eze.
Before we,
so you've got players like Eze, right, who has been being dropped recently, and you're thinking, right, he's back in the team. He's going to try and put a performance in. I didn't really see a lot from him. Elise, his delivery is again shown as a weakness.
Yeah. Every time he crosses the ball, he goes for a goal kick.
Yeah,
he can't
and I heard a stat. Villa are the second worst team conceding from set pieces, and we didn't capitalise one bit.
Yeah, because we're Crystal Palace, mate. We're Crystal Palace. We're charity professional football FC, as they would say.
The thing is,
that's why.
Right, is that in many respects, you know, we're quite a unique club when you think about it. If you look, just by looking at our stand, and I think that the players that come to the club have got to sort of really buy into that. And if you don't fully buy into it, it sort of shows. And I mean, all the fans, all fans are passionate about their football club and all the rest of it. And there's nothing worse than having some players on the pitch who are not giving it 100%.
Well, not playing for the badge, if anything.
I think that, you know, and the thing with Palace is because the players don't have the pressure in their position, it's like, well, I know I'm going to play next week, even if I play crap against Man City, I know I'm going to be playing against Brighton.
Well, it's like Sunday. It's a bit like Sunday league, isn't it? Like I was a centre back and I was rubbish, but I knew I was playing next week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
good point.
It was.
100%.
Like it's just terrible. Like you've got players like, you know, Nathaniel Klein. He's been average of sorts. I'm not expecting him to do anything like a major miracle. He's getting on and whatnot, but even he's like turned it right down in terms of his performances. The thing is, right, given all of the negativity surrounding this club at the moment, I think Lokonga is one to look at. I think, like I always said, do we really need him? And yeah, he has performed well. What I meant was like there was other players that we needed in the window more than Lokonga in terms of positioning. But I would say Lokonga has been all right. But that's about it. Wilf's back. We can rely on him until May, and until he goes.
No, that's just not going to happen. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, we can't keep relying on him all the time. Because the other thing as well, what's your thoughts on the fact that, I mean, you know, come next season, we're either in the Premiership or in the Championship.
Yeah.
My worry is that if we're in the Premiership and we've got all these players' contracts ending at the end of the season, and quite often as well is when you want to see who you think is going to get relegated, have a look at their previous season. How well did they finish the season? Because I remember Stoke finished the season really poorly. Next season, they got relegated. Burnley did the same thing. And my worry is that, next season we're going to have to bring in a load of players just to replace the ones that are going. So that's not so much like improving the squad. That's just replacing the ones who we're not going to give a contract to.
Yeah, and don't forget, you've also got to replace the ones where they're non-existent, like a backup left back.
Yeah.
Like before you even improve the squad, we're going to have to spend money on, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 players before you improve the squad.
Yeah, and I'm just really worried if we was to stay up. I'm really worried that next season is gonna. Because I don't think Vieira's going to be the manager next season.
Definitely.
No, he won't be.
He's not going to be there next season. Okay, so I'm just worried if we don't go down this season. Next season, Parish, what is your plan? What is your plan to make sure that we try and push? I mean, get further up that table. That's a worry for me next season. If we go to the Championship, I have no idea what would happen if we got into the Championship.
I think if we've got relegated, it would take about a decade for us to come back up. I'm not even.
Well, to be honest with you, I keep saying this. I'm 61, so I've been around the block a few times where Palace are concerned, and we've been up, we've been down, we go up, we go down, and it's just the profile.
Oh, you hear this?
Club.
Sorry, just shout out Eagles and that as well. Before you head off, mates, just want to read this out and that. I didn't even realise this. Genuinely think our club is going into trouble. Well, that's a fact. Yeah, definitely. Fans are even going against each other, causing trouble in the stands. On the pitch is poor. Yeah, I think in the stands. I don't think no one's really gone on the pitch on that end, but yeah, apparently there's been some fighting amongst Palace fans. Well, when we were at Villa, there was nothing like that. But
when he says on the pitch, I think he means like just the players and the performance.
Oh, the players.
Yeah,
sorry, I thought you meant the fans.
No, what I'm saying is,
right, yeah.
We didn't see any issues at the away games, so whether it's at the home games where the fans are having a go at each other, I don't know. But
that's what he means. Yeah. But Mason, before you head off, are you Vieira in or Vieira out? Before I quickly ask, why not?
No, because the thing is, if I say Vieira out, then people have got something to say. Oh well, you were Vieira out once, but currently, yeah, I think it's time. Well, if we get beat, let's say 3 or more by Man City, that's it.
Yeah, curtains.
That's it. Curtains done. And I think you'll notice because my next game that I can go to is West Ham at the end of April. So at the end of the day, you will see the atmosphere in that ground. Booing, mate, it's probably going to be raining as well. Freezing cold. And I'm trying to sell this. I'm trying to sell my bloody ticket to someone, and no one wants to go. That's how bad this club's got.
You ain't wrong.
Is that Man City?
To go.
Well, what stand is it? Oh, it's yours. It's the main stand.
Main stand, block A.
Oh, right.
If anyone's interested, who's watching, let me know.
Maybe you could sit in the main stand and I'll bring someone in.
I'm struggling to get in because there's nothing worse than going to a football match when you know you're going to get absolutely massacred. I'm hoping that players don't have the same attitude. Look, if they go out against Man City and they give it everything they've got, and with a bit of luck, you just never know in football. Okay, stranger things have happened. Yeah. To be honest with you, you just never know.
Yeah.
But what they got to do, I think, against Man City, is show the fans they care.
A bit of passion, a bit of desire.
They've got to show the fans they care. Because the other thing as well, the atmosphere at the ground is just like
it's gone.
It's on the floor
from how it was at Cristambul compared to now.
We need the players. We need the players to give us a spark.
Yeah,
and they need to go out there and show they care.
Yeah.
Even if we go out against Man City and say lose 1 or 2-0, but we've seen fight, we've seen intent, and we've seen signs of improvement for the run of games that we've got.
Yeah.
Then I won't come away. I can't say it no more, but I will look at that result and I'll go, you know what? even though it's another loss and we're in even more trouble in terms of the league table, I can see where we're trying to go.
Yeah,
hopefully. And that's my general message. To round things up before I go, I just think this club's in a bit of a mess, and it's like we're in a massive pickle at the moment, and I think the only way we can get out of it is to bring in an experienced manager that can motivate these players to get some performances out of them.
Definitely.
That's all I can
the only thing
structure the players in the unit.
The only thing is, I've been racking my brains and I can't think of one.
Exactly. Same.
No,
I don't know.
It'd probably be a caretaker.
Most likely. Or an interim manager.
Could literally be the caretaker at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, caretaker of my son's school would probably do a good job.
Yeah, I'll do a better bloody job. Put me in a suit.
I just want somebody on that touchline, a bit of passion. The players know exactly what they've got to do. And
bit of logic as well.
You know, I know, again, Sam Allardyce was grateful when he came in for the club, but that we're going to play like this, we're going to whatever, and we're going to try and pinch 3 points. If you can't win the game, make sure you don't lose it.
Yeah.
And just have a system, and that's what we're going to stick with. And that's what we're going to, and you need to get on that pitch and play.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mace, it's a pleasure having you on this channel and that. Congrats on reaching 1K subs as well. I saw that.
Thanks, mate.
Keep it up, man. Keep the content going, bro. Love.
Cheers, mate.
Take care, man.
Take care, mate. See you, bud.
All right. See you, brother.
Bye-bye.
I think we got time for maybe 2 or 3 more people to come on. So the link will be in the description down below, and the live chat. If you want to join my people, we'll just add you straight on. We're going to read through some of the comments. There's been a lot of comments, and I love the support and everyone commented and giving their questions. We haven't discussed it and that as well, you know. So apologies if we haven't been able to cover them all, but we got people coming on, and I just going through like a few of the main questions, but I'm going to answer some now. Haza says he says, I reckon we'll finish 16th. Hope you're right. That's probably going to happen if we did stay.
Do you know, I think to be honest with you, we need to stop focusing on where we think we want to be.
I was going to think of that.
We need to just get a win, okay? Forget about where we might be at the end of the season. We need to focus on winning a game of football.
Yeah. Milton Townsend says, I went to the Villa game. Why does Mitchell pass the ball back instead of going forward and can't keep up with play? That's how Matty Cash got into the box and made that goal. It's the Anderson goal. You're not wrong, because Mitchell disappeared.
He ran off the back of Mitchell, and that is one of his weaknesses, I'm afraid.
Yeah. George Ward Rogers, he says, we ought to start winning games at the moment. We're not good enough. We can't rely on Wilf all the time. Definitely, mate, honestly. Shout out Eagles as well. Eagles, if you want to join, the links in the live chat description down below, so feel free to press that and it should be all right for you. Let me know if there's any problems. He says, Tristan, thoughts on Palace fans fighting each other. I've been hearing about this. Have you witnessed it? Do you think it's due to the poor performances? So taking it out. Taking it out on each other. That's what he's saying.
Well, I personally haven't seen any.
I haven't seen it either.
I have not seen any Palace fans fighting each other. So I don't know where this might have been, whether it was just a one-off or whatever. So I've not seen it.
It might have been a homestyle, and probably.
Yeah, we was at the Villa game and we never saw anything. Now there might be obviously Palace fans are disagreeing about the way forward for the club and what we should be doing. But I've not seen them. I've not seen anything physical going on.
There's no videos or anything covering it either. So,
but I think it's all down to the
definitely.
I think everyone's getting frustrated by it.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of that this Saturday. I'm sure. Of
course, the other thing as well, we got knocked out of the cup by Southampton, and then the thing with the FA Cup, it can sometimes give you the momentum to get you through a season.
Definitely.
Back in 1990, when we were fighting with relegation, and most of the season we never got out of full from the bottom. But the thing that kept us in the division, and it wasn't the Premiership then, in the First Division. The thing that kept us up was our cup run. That momentum got us through the season. And when we got knocked out by Southampton, you know, it just like when you consider the cup run we had last year, and you all know how great that was. And when we lost to Southampton, I was like, after being 1-0 up, and we gifted them 2 goals, you know. So you know,
George Ward Rogers says, since Derry got sacked, it's all changed. You're not wrong. Players don't have someone to give them a kick up the arse when they're playing crap, and we got Vieira's calm approach, and it's just killing us. It's ruining us badly. Simon Mills, in that shout out to him, he's been saying a lot today in that as well. Do you want to join, mate? You know, it's in the description in the live chat. Can't wait to bring on Man City. Love the optimism and the passion. I'll give him that.
You see, I don't think that Vieira's sort of personality
I've got an interesting question here in that, or comment from Eagles. Is I saw on Twitter people saying Palace lack diversity in our squad, so that affects our football. Do you agree? Do you think we lack diversity? Because basically, our team is predominantly black, apart from maybe Anderson and Vicente Gaeta and like Hughes MacArthur. That's what I think he's on about. What do you make of that? I've got no problem with it. I mean, I think it's a silly. I mean, if people have a problem with it, it's a stupid thing to raise up, in my opinion.
I think to be honest, when you're looking at players and all the rest of it, I don't think you just go with what you think's the best player. Exactly. I mean, if you end up with 20 players in your squad, so what? I mean, I don't think we purposely. That's just the way that it turns out. I don't think. You could say I don't know. You could say it was a lack of diversity. I just it's irrelevant.
I
think that's just the way. I just think that's the way that it's turned out. But I don't. And when you think of our under-23 teams, how well they've done, and we said that, why haven't some of those players been put into the first team? Perhaps that's probably what the problem is. I mean, I can't, I don't think that's the issue at all, to be honest with you. When you think of, we got basically the same team this season as we had last season.
Yeah.
And we did all right. We got to the semi-final of the cup. So, I think when you're in this sort of situation, people go looking for all sorts of excuses, and quite often end up with the wrong answer. I tend to go with the facts in front of you. What you see. To be honest with you, that's where I
appreciate that, Simon Mills. Big up to yourself for that comment as well. CPFC says need to play 5 at the back against City. We did it at the away fixture and went 2-0 up in the first half, and Wolf didn't play, hence to why we probably didn't win that game, to be fair, because Wolf wasn't starting. But that worked. I think it worked to Liverpool as well, didn't it? Away at the beginning of the season, didn't it?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to play sort of 5 across the back, and we're just going to have to. Well, Vieira's got to come up with some plan that the players believe. He's got to try and. I've got things wrong. I remember when I watched this Liverpool Anfield game earlier on in the season, and I thought, oh no, what's he doing? But he got it right. I know, in the game, we get another game, we drew.
Well,
we should have won it.
To down to 10 men most of the game.
We should have won it. So there are times when he sort of gets it right, but but I think Man City, I think that we can't afford. I'm struggling to sort of see Eze in the team, even Elise, to be honest with you, he's not exactly been putting up any trees recently, is he? You know what I mean?
A lot of players compared to last season have gone off form. Honestly, it's just like Eze, his quality's dipped. Mateta, Edwards. I think things have gotten stale. Wouldn't you agree, Dad? To be honest.
Well, yeah. I think the problem is that when you get into a slump like this, it's incredibly difficult. I think as a player mentally to sort of get your way out of it. You might need a bit of luck. You need some player to do something inspirational. Who knows? But you need to try to start building some momentum up. And, if the next 3 games, if we was to win one of them, that might be just what we need. And you just never know. Football's, you know what they're saying. It's a funny old game. And, you could play in a game, playing rubbish, be totally dominated, and then nick it in the last minute and off you go. We have got to get some momentum going.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got to get some momentum going. Exactly. And that's really got to come from the manager down through the players. Now, whether that means they sit down and have a heart-to-heart and try and work out what's going on, You know, whether Vieira's still got the dressing room. I think because of Vieira's track record, that he's a World Cup winner and
Premier League winner as well,
and Premier League winner, and what he did at Arsenal. I think that's probably, you know, is
adds the pressure onto him.
It gives him a lot of respect instantaneously. I should imagine when he walked into the club, he was like, "Wow, Vieira, amazing," you know, etc., etc. But you know, sometimes a player who is as good as he was, sometimes they don't make the best managers. But for me, the thing that worries me with Vieira is he doesn't learn from his mistakes. You know, he doesn't learn from his mistakes, and too often tactically he gets it wrong. He makes the wrong substitutions, and he makes the wrong management decision, particularly in the last 10 minutes of a football match. The two Brentford games, we should never have lost. We should never have drawn. We should have won both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
We should have won at Sellers Park, and we should have won at Brentford. And if we'd have managed both games, Brentford equalised in the last 10 minutes, and the one at Brentford in 30 seconds from time. I sat there. I was at the Brentford game. I couldn't even watch the last 5 minutes, and I knew I would just put my head down, and I could think, I'm just waiting for the Brentford fans to shout goal. And there was looking at my clock, and there was 30 seconds to go, and you know, it was just a killer. And you know, he made a mistake against Brentford at home when we didn't manage the last 10 minutes, when we couldn't get out of our half. And he does exactly the same. He does exactly the same thing at Brentford.
Just learn from his mistakes.
It's like, don't you learn?
It just shows
what happened previously in the season.
It just shows a bit of a lack of ambition.
You know, it's like you've not learned. You know, even in football management, you should never be in a position when you think you know it all.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't.
Yeah.
Nobody, and the top managers don't know it all.
I'm just going to say something quickly. For people who are wondering how to join, there's a link in the live chat. Just go up in the live chat. It should be there. If it's not there, just let me know, and I'll quickly add it in.
It's normally below you.
In the description down below, the link will be there. Just click on it, and you will instantly join in that, and we'll happily have you on, and we'll just discuss and let you have your say in that as well. We're going to read some more comments before we could probably get maybe 2 or 3 more people on that before we come to an end. Someone says here about Bielsa. He says has experienced the keepers up. 1 win in 14 in any league is not good enough. What would you say, Bielsa?
No.
To be honest, you don't want Bielsa.
No, we haven't got the players the way that he wants to play, the way he likes to play. We simply don't have the players.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't think, as far as the Premiership's concerned, he wasn't a good manager. I mean, I know Leeds think he's a god, but
Bielsa,
defensively, he's clueless. To be honest with you,
he's all over the place.
And so I don't think he would be a, you know. Perhaps Frank Lampard. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
But his track record isn't great. But even as a sort of a caretaker manager towards the end, just to keep, you know, for the end of the season, but just something new, just somebody, you know, that can perhaps do something different. I mean, I really would hope. I would love it if Vieira could turn it around.
That's not. Okay. I can't see that happening. No.
I would love it if we played Man City and put in 100%, and we showed everybody how much they, you know, all the players showed the fans how much they care. Even if we lost like 1 or 2-0, but we could give us some hope. Okay. The thing for the Man City game, when I start to go home, is I want the players to give me some hope for the rest of the season.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, we know that football, in terms of football, Man City, even if we were on form, even if we was on form when we were 6 from top, the Man City game is always going to be a difficult game. But I mean, Southampton in the Carabao Cup knocked them out. You know,
yeah,
had a plan,
so why can't we?
Kept to it.
Why can't we?
And they won 2. Was it 2-0? I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a couple of seasons ago when we got a 0-0. I think we missed a late penalty against Man City. So I'm hoping that I'm all wrong, and I'm hoping that that we can really put in a great performance against Man City.
We got the
Brighton game, on the other hand, is a different kettle of fish. If we lose that game and we lose it badly, then Vieira's history.
Vieira be
the
done.
Brighton game, he won't make the Arsenal game.
Oh, he can't. Lokonga can't play. Yeah, I mean, we'll go into that for the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's going to be a real painful period to be a Palace fan. S33K1 says if he's back in the summer and he didn't deliver, then he doesn't deliver. So I think that's what he's trying to say. Then sack him. So
I think even if we stay up, I think even if we stay up, I don't think Vieira's going to be our manager next season.
You don't think so?
I don't. Not after this run. Yeah. I think that I don't think that he's going to be. I don't think he would want to stay around. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not looking all good, is it? You know what I mean? We just.
So we're just trying to work out how to get there.
Yeah, so my link's gone. It didn't really work out that well. We've got a few more comments in that as well. Do you want to go through this comment? If Connor, he feels.
Well, if you put the link in the actual chat,
I did, and then it's just gone now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go
put it in again. So first time we've since got promoted with Holloway, I truly believe we could go down. Well, exactly. I mean, this is a point I've been making.
Yeah.
In that this season is really, really unique in that you've got the most competitive season ever in the Premiership, and any team can get out of it. Even the bottom team can not easily get out, but can get out of it. And it's going to be a shock with the three clubs that go down, because the three clubs that normally the three teams that come up are usually favourites to go down. Well, Fulham aren't going to be going down. Forest, I can't see Forest going down.
Yeah, exactly.
The momentum that club has got, I can't see Forest going down.
And the fans as well, especially at home form.
And then you've got Bournemouth. So at the end of this season, if you think Bournemouth are going to go down, you're going to have two clubs that have been in the Premiership for some length of time who are going to get relegated.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Forest aren't going to go down and Fulham aren't going to go down. So, and I look at the way other teams play, and I watch Crystal Palace, and we are just not at the races at the moment.
Exactly, definitely. I'll just put the link in for those who want to join in and that as well. The link just disappeared, the first one, but got a second one up now. I've pinned it as well this time. That's something I didn't do before. So click the link that's just pinned onto the live chat. Also, link down below. We'll see if we can get 2 more people on before we end this call and that as well. Eagle says there's only like 4 teams in the whole English leagues, including Conference League and Nations League, who have less goals this season, and that's embarrassing. No, it's a big embarrassment, and it's a big problem, honestly.
I mean, I get a feeling as well that there are some Palace fans that they're not too bothered whether we get relegated.
Yeah, I get that as well.
It's
like, we've been in the Prem for 10 years, we'll take that.
I mean, then some people, I think, have a thing as like, why I'd much rather be in the Championship winning games and stuff rather than keep surviving each year in the Premier League. But, I think that the Premier League is obviously the place to play. That's where you want to play, and that's where you see the best football. I've got my own opinion on football, particularly in the Premiership and the way that it's played. I mean, sometimes I find it a bit tedious. The way every time I see a team play, they just play the same, like, there's no individual sort of thing that happens on the pitch.
Yeah.
The way that they build up play, how it's going to, where the ball's going, and they're just waiting for that moment to break and sort of score the goal. So sometimes when I watch the football these days, it just gets a bit tedious. There's nothing sometimes
bit stale,
really gets me going, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But that might just be my age. I don't know.
Teddy Conrad says, you lot called me negative at the start of the season for me saying any chance if a shock relegation. Now look, you're not wrong. I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, look, before I didn't think we'd go down then. I think it was November, early December. I had a feeling we maybe, the wheels may come off, and I was right. I just had a feeling, and that my worst nightmares come true.
Yeah, I think that when we started the season, there was some Palace fans who sort of optimistic about Europe football.
Yeah, God.
And I'm like, no, it's not happening. And the thing is, well, again, it was mentioned by I can't remember, someone mentioned it earlier as well, in that the games that we've won, there was only one win where we totally dominated the game. That was the 3-1 home win against Villa.
Yeah.
But other than that, you think of the Wolves game. Now, Wolves, right in the stroke of half-time, they were already 1-0 up, and then they had a free kick and they hit the post. If that had gone in, there's no way we're going to get back in that game. And then we come out second half. We equalise after about 60 seconds and then get another goal and we win the 2-1. And then the same thing at Leeds. Again, we never turn up. Leeds totally dominates in the first half, go 1-0 up, and then we just get 2 goals out, God knows where, and win the game. West Ham were rubbish, to be honest with you. I mean, we played well. We did play well. I must give it. We did. So if the other team don't turn up, we can potentially punish them. But we've got to try and get 5 wins between now and the end of the season. I mean, that's it.
We can't even win a game in 2023. We can't even have a shot and score a goal, can we?
Historically, 37 points keeps you up. It ain't going to be enough this season. 37 points, well, we're not.
I don't even think 40 points will be enough this season. Currently, I'm not going to lie. I
remember about 20 years. About 20 years ago, I think it was something like that. West Ham went down on 42 points, got relegated on 42 points. So it does happen. But statistically, a team that's 12th in the Premier League shouldn't be relegated. It's very rare.
No, luck will get relegated.
If you go on there's a website I go on, and you can look at previous seasons in the Premiership and put in the how many games played and all the rest of it, and it'll tell you what the league position is. So I've looked at some of that, and generally speaking, at this time of the season, the bottom 6, the 3 that get relegated are already in the bottom 6. Okay, every now and again, somebody from mid-table will drop down and get relegated.
And that's us, potentially.
So that could well be one of those seasons where that happens.
Yeah, Teddy Conrad says, it seems like Vieira too seems like he didn't know what to do. I think he means he doesn't know what to do.
I think with Vieira, when he realised that he wasn't going to get players in, I don't know whether he's just shut up shop or whether he's thought, well, I've got a contract here, but you've not backed me, so I'm not going to put the effort in that I think I should, And I just wonder if that's reflected in the players, because the players are thinking, well, the manager's not going to 100%. Why should I? So that could also be an issue. And the other thing as well, I've not mentioned actually, whenever I see I listen to sometimes Talk Sport and Match of the Day.
Oh yeah,
and
Sky.
Not one of them, and Sky Sports, none of them. I mean, they were talking the other day and on 5 Live about who was going down. They never mention Crystal Palace ever. These never even comes into their conversation.
They're not educated on us.
Never, and I'm like thinking, so you've got all these so-called experts and there's all these pundits and all these whatever, and they obviously don't do their homework.
Well, they never have.
Because if you look at the form, you're thinking, you think one of them would say, do you know what? I actually, if I was a Palace fan, I'd be a bit worried. But even on Match of the Day, even when we're on, they barely mention us. They don't even talk about it. I'm even disappointed with Ian Wright, to be honest with you. I mean,
don't even get me started on Ian Wright.
Where Ian Wright's concerned, it's like Crystal Palace doesn't exist. It's never existed in his life. It's all Arsenal. It's all Arsenal. It's all Arsenal. And you saw when Arsenal got the win against whatever, you can see where his loyalty lies. He never talks about Crystal Palace.
It's like he's embarrassed that he ever played for the club.
It's like he was never here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this club gave him a start in his footballing career.
Well, we made him into the player.
If it wasn't for Crystal Palace, mate, he wouldn't have been playing for Arsenal.
Certainly.
So I'm a bit disappointed with, Ian Wright's sort of, he the fact that he doesn't say anything and it's all Arsenal. And when you watch Match of the Day, all they ever bloody do is talk about the top. If it's Newcastle Palace, we'll talk about Newcastle. If it's Man United Palace, we'll talk about Man United. If it's Liverpool Crystal Palace, we'll talk about Liverpool. They never, ever entertain us at all. It's like we're not there. And I get absolutely sick
of it.
More
crap in it, really.
I just get absolutely sick of it.
It feels like we're being mugged off a lot as well.
These people are so-called experts, and they're not. They're ex-footballers. They're not. That doesn't make them experts. Honestly. And by their comments that they make, that they're talking at their backside most of the time.
We only have 10. Sorry, someone says here, we only have 5-10 minute spells where we look good. That is true, definitely. Yeah. He's not wrong. Jude Webb says Vieira never learns from his mistakes. Yeah, exactly. Same old mistakes. Talking about the Brentford game again and that. Teddy Conrad says who will stay and who will go in the
well,
Lucario of relegation.
If we get into the Championship, it's a complete clear out. I mean, if we get into the Championship, you won't recognise the club. You won't recognise the team next season.
Yeah.
I mean, our 2 centre halves will go definitely. Even we might keep hold of Mitchell. We might keep hold of Klein. Our goalie, I don't know what he would do.
He's signing a contract. He'll probably stay, won't he? Wilf will go.
Well, I don't think Wilf's going to stay anyway. Even if we stay up, Wilf isn't going to stay. So
someone says that Jude Webb says Conor Gallagher has 8 goals by this time last season and wasn't even our top scorer and played in midfield, not attack. Our top scorer is Wolf, who has 6.
Well, it says it all.
Big difference there, isn't it?
We made mistakes during the summer.
Too many mistakes, if anything.
Getting the players in, and part of me thinks it's to do with money with the new stand. I don't know what, and I think that Parish over the years has been papering over the cracks, and but we don't know. Perhaps he's doing a really good job with the money we have or haven't got. I don't know. And every year, he has to balance the books. I mean, I don't financially know how good or well Palace are doing, but I think that if we stay in the Premiership next season, in the summer, I don't know what we're going to have to do to
a bit of an out of the bloom content just before we end the video in the next 5 minutes. By the way, anyone who wants to join, the link is in the live chat. Pinned there and that as well, so press that. We can see if we can get one more person. He says, do you think he's
I'd have him in the team tomorrow.
Yeah,
honestly, I would have him in the team tomorrow because nothing is worse than what we've currently got. I would have Giroud in the team tomorrow. He might well just be the thing that gets us out. I would. Yeah.
If you would have Giroud, would you take Fraser Campbell back then?
Why would I take Fraser Campbell back?
Is he better than Mateo and Edouard?
No, I'd have.
Joking.
Look, I would. I mean, Giroud just played in the last World Cup.
We scored against.
I'm sure we can try and get him to play between now and the end of the season. I'm assuming he's out of contract at the moment.
No, he's still at Milan. It's in the summer they're talking about.
Oh, in the summer. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant now. I thought you meant he was out of contract.
I mean summer. He's still playing
in the summer. Well, yeah. I mean, if he's all that's available and he's still doing a good job. But I don't want to be one of these things where, some of the rejects we've bought over the years.
Flanamy, Remy.
Oh, just dreadful, and I hate when Palace do that,
Yeah. Oh, well, here we go. Jack Turfin says, what's your opinions on off the Homesdale spastic?
Oh, God, it causes trouble and groom.
Oh, what is...
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I don't know about the second part, but the first part.
The thing about the ultras. I mean, to be honest with you, look, I don't know much about them. I mean, obviously they're at the end and they do all the shouting and all the rest of it and stuff. And if you're going to go to a away game and there's trouble, they're not too far away from it. I mean, I think whether it's them, I mean, some of the things that shock me sometimes, well, don't shock me at my age, but, I can remember we went up to one away game, we went up on the train, and even at like at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's Palace fans turning up drunk.
Nottingham, was it the Nottingham Forest?
I mean, they're going on they got shopping bags.
7:30 in the morning.
If I come home with my Sainsbury's shopping bag, it's full of food and stuff. Theirs is just full of booze, and they just drink all day. I don't know how to do it personally, but I mean, I think every club's got these sort of fans and stuff, and and they're sort of great for support. But I mean,
shout out my guy Jeff as well from the Homestyle Fanatics. I know he's a part of them, and he's a key,
I think every club's got them. I don't think that they're as influential as people might think. I mean, I don't know what trouble they cause. I know sometimes they'll make statements that are probably best not done. I mean,
but they're the only ones who are going to do it. Sometimes, right now, I mean, the Homestyle Fanatics, they made a statement saying we're in a relegation battle. We got to get behind the team and be the fan base we once were. Basically, that's what they were trying to say.
Yeah,
I mean, that was their point.
They put the post up about the Newcastle and the new Newcastle chairman. Now, no other club in the Premiership did that, and that is what makes Crystal Palace so unique. In the factors that we'll call it out, and we'll say what needs to be said. Now,
if the Palace fans want to take over,
whether that does us any good in the future, I don't know.
If the Palace fans want to take over, it's definitely not going to be from the Saudis after what
I don't think so. Not after some of the comments we've made.
Probably be some American billionaire like Todd Bowley.
Oh God, no! I don't want the Saudi Ravens, and I don't want the Americans. So it doesn't mean much else.
But no, big up the Homestyle Fanatics. They're the reason why this club has one of the best atmospheres in the Premier League. Not this season, but in the past and last season. But we still got a long way to go to get back to the atmosphere.
It's for the Palace players have got to do something.
Bit of magic
to spark us into life.
Yeah. So exactly about the wages. I just want to ask you a quick question just before we end. If we lost to Man City badly, do you think it will get really, really toxic? Because it's Man City, it's not like Brighton or us playing Leicester or Villa or something.
I think
Everton.
I think if he goes bad against Man City,
really, really bad,
he will still be the manager for the Brighton game.
No, but how do you think the fans are going to react in the stadium if we were 6-0 down?
Oh no, I think you'll start to get some fans standing up and being more boisterous towards the manager. I think that's probably going to happen. If we did what we did at Tottenham, where the first half we were matching them, and we came out second half and almost had a chance to score in the first minute. We conceded a goal and we fell apart. Now, if that was to happen against Man City,
Haaland, Foden, De Bruyne,
don't.
Bernardo Silva.
Don't.
Oh, I'm dreading it.
I mean,
Haaland's. You might as well put Haaland as your captain in your fantasy football team. He'll probably get about 5 goals against us this weekend, based on current circumstances and the fact is City as well going for the title.
Scary. I mean, I would just absolutely love it. Obviously, I mean, if we beat Man City, I mean, what a result that would be. And the thing is, the players have got the ability to do it. Okay, but we need Vieira to tactically get it right, and we need him to motivate the players.
But I don't think he's got it in him.
I know. I'm just saying what he has to do. Whether he's got it in or not, we'll find out, won't we?
Well, in our next 3 games, if he doesn't get anything, he'll be sacked. Simple as that.
I just wish he was a bit vocal on the touchline, and I just wish that, I can't imagine him getting angry. I don't know what it is. I mean,
I've never seen him angry, Dad.
He's just
clear.
I think what it is as well, because he knows that
honestly,
the problem with Crystal Palace is the team picks itself.
Yeah,
Vieira must look at it each day and thinking, well, what have I got to pick here? What have we've got? I mean, there was a time when, particularly when we got a really strong bench, and I don't know, it all fell to bits. It's all sort of, and I think Parish has just got some things wrong, and I think
he's not got some things wrong. He's got everything wrong this season, Dad.
I think the thing is
top to bottom.
What we got to understand. One of the facts for the last 10 years, and I keep saying this, is that Wilf got us up, and he's kept us in the Premier League.
No, definitely,
and Parish has known that, and that's why he gave him such a huge contract, because he knew that Wilf was the only thing that was going to keep us in the Premiership.
Exactly.
But he should have had a plan, some 5-year plan. I mean, building a stand, you need to do more than that, I'm afraid. And I just think that if we were to go down, it's going to be at the cost of the new stand. I think it's going to be we in the next couple of years. We know we're going to say, right, look, do you want to stay in the Premiership or do you want a new stand? And I think that's what we've got to try and balance. And I think that we know we desperately need to improve the ground, and we know that we're never going to be able to move anywhere and build a new. There is no land anywhere around Croydon or wherever to build a new stadium. And even then, you've got to find the person who's going to finance it, or someone to come in with big pockets and short arms, or long arms, or whatever. Exactly. So we're going to have to develop what we've got, and I just think that the financial burden of the new stand is going to affect.
What's costing us already, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to cost us potentially cost us our Premiership place,
and that's what everyone's going to be up in arms about, Dad. It's already getting there. It's going to be a whole lot worse within the next 2 months between now and the end of this campaign.
But I posted something on Facebook last week, and some people said don't panic and all this nonsense and all the stuff of it. It's not a question of panicking. It's just a question of looking what's in front of you.
It's pure delusion from Palace fans, really.
You look at, it looks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. It swims like a duck. There you go.
Certainly. Oh, but people, that is the end of this video. It's gone on a little bit. We kind of overran, to be fair. But hey, it's nice getting involved with some of the comments, speaking to some of the fans and that as well. We'll make sure to try and do another one of these again between now and the end of the video. But I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure you have.
I've enjoyed it. Thanks you all for your time listening to us, and the people that joined. We'll try and do something better with the link, because it's down. You've got to.
I got to pin it. I didn't pin it. Yeah, I didn't pin it. I should have pinned it. So next time I will. I did pin it, and no one's still joined. So I mean, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah. So we learned. Yeah, something that we've only just started doing. So
first time
we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. So,
thanks to everyone for joining.
I appreciate
Thanks
it.
For your time.
Definitely.
Have a great day.
We'll see you. I'll see you lot on Saturday.
Keep our fingers crossed for the weekend.
God, yeah, I would say up the Palace, but I'll say that once we get a win in that at this rate, you know what I mean? But I'll be vlogging at the Man City game. Whether he'll be there or not, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see, my people. In a bit, lads. In a bit, Palace fans and that as well. See you lot.
Take care, everyone.
Enjoy.
Cheers. Take care.